been so much propaganda for millennia about, you know, Jesus Christ's ascension, Babaji, you know, do we ascend? You know, these people that get into cults and get into people's heads and start, you know, when they're vulnerable, like we're going to be the 440,000 and then, oh, we're only going to be, you know, only the Christians will survive. And it's like, this isn't real, guys. Feels like it is. It's not real. The only thing that's real is that your spirit is already living in the eternal. It's already ascended. It's just that you are not aware yet because the veil is still there over your consciousness. You are in the Maya. When we become enlightened, our body becomes a body of light. You feel it in every cell of your being. It just is, and it glows. And sometimes your room is just like the brightest lights in the world, even in the middle of the night. You are then ascended, but not in your body, in your consciousness. Your consciousness. So then you can decide at the time of you leaving this particular organic body whether you are going to come back here or go to a different plane of existence where you are needed the most, where it is required for your soul to be. When a body is enlightened, particularly if it's a great Mahasiddha, like Jesus and Yogananda, their bodies remain bodies of light, beautiful bodies of light. But they had left the building. The only reason that when Yogananda, they laid him out for weeks and weeks, you know, and he was still almost pink, you know, I mean, his skin, oxygenation, there was no decay at all. And I have been with bodies when they are just leaving the body. And I did it with a neighbour once who used to live downstairs, raced down, his mother was screaming, and gave him mouth to mouth. For 15 minutes, I was on the phone with the ambulance people, and he was blue and already going cold and already getting stiff. And it was horrible to do it at the time, many, many years ago. But I did it because I learnt mouth to mouth when I was just a 12-year-old. So, but you still do it just in case. But, you know, I knew that body was gone. It decays very, very quickly, a body. But the soul has left the body. So even though Yogananda, his body was, every cell was a cell of light, he left that body. He was not there anymore. Just the body had been in enlightened consciousness, so the cells had changed. He went into Mahasamadhi, which means that person has decided when they're going to leave the body. You know, he was just sitting there in the middle of a convention, big event, and he'd already done his talk. He sat down and just left the body. So they called it a heart attack because the heart stopped, but it wasn't a heart attack. He just decided to leave. So he's just still sitting there. So when you see a photograph of Yogananda when he's in that orange robe and he looks a little slimmer, that's the day he left the body. So that's my favorite photograph of him, photographs they took of him in that day. But he had left the body. He had ascended. The body was still here. The body ended up being cremated, as they do in Hindu, but they left it for a long, long time. It had to start decaying a little bit before they would even do it. With Jesus the Christ, I don't want to freak everybody out. When someone has left the body and they choose to stay on this planet, like Babaji never left the body. He did, in a way, ascend, but his body never died. That's different. His body never died. He was in such a high state of avatar, an avatar, only ever come to the planet once. His sister begged him to stay on the planet because there was so much suffering on this planet. So that is very, very different. When an avatar decides to stay on this planet behind the scenes to teach and look after and do what he or she can, it's not really a he or she, their body never dies. It does ascend into a body of light. That's the only type of ascension of my experience. I have met Babaji and I get the downloads when I meet these people. I have met Jesus, and Jesus is very, 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 very different looking to what the pictures portray. But beautiful big Jewish nose, which I've always adored. I don't know why, I just find them extremely attractive, probably because I lived there once upon a time, but anyway. And incredible sense of humor, not blue eyes, dark brown eyes, smaller sort of mouth, but really just incredibly funny. But the downloads that you get, they are real in front of you. You can touch them, but it's all in consciousness because none of this is real. You feel just like a dream, but it's not like a dream. When you have an encounter with a being that has stayed on the planet, you feel and remember every moment better than you remember 5 minutes ago. What just happened 5 minutes ago.